because it's backwards when I look in the camera. But I think it says patience is the companion of wisdom. Why is patience the companion of wisdom? Don't get me started. So I got this message on LinkedIn from Joseph Baker. I used to know a John Baker, but that's a different study. This story, and it has nothing to do with Freenomics. He has this thing called Remedy Coin. And he does this podcast, I guess. And it's I said, tell me. I said, I'm being distracted by the wind, because it's very, very cold out. That humming sound you hear, if you hear it, is my heater. And the lights are bright, and I feel like I'm in my own studio. Oh, that's right, I am. Okay. Oh, Joseph Baker just had his YouTube permanently disabled. Why? I don't know. Anyway, this conversation started out with him on, well, it's a long conversation. Okay, back in July of 2019, I asked him, what is forgiveness capitalism? And I've been reading about surveillance capitalism, so that's where this contradicts right here. This guy here, he's in jail because he ratted out the government. If everybody ratted out the government, there would be no government. Anyway, that's a different topic. I'm trying to make this as little political as possible. So what is forgiveness capitalism? I asked it on Quora. So if you go to Quora, it's supposed to work, see? Oh, there it goes. I don't know if you can read that. Let's try it this way. No. This way. No, it's too bright. Gotta read. So I asked, what is forgiveness capitalism? And Joe Baker answered it. Long question. Wow. He's got quite a story here about he's got a wheel of forgiveness. This is good. How does forgiveness capital work? Anyway, you can find it on Quora.com. Just look it up. What is forgiveness capitalism? Never heard of it. So he I gotta be quiet because the mice are sleeping. Joseph Baker, 9:44 a.m. It's getting hot in here. It must be the lights. If I turn the heater off over here is the window. does your interest in forgiveness capital stem from? Where have you heard the term? He says, I've written a response to your article, but I'm not quite sure if I get the background of what you're asking. My project, Forgiveness Capital, does seem to intersect with what you're asking. What am I asking? What is Forgiveness Capital? So then I go, this is July 20th, 2019, before. Well, actually, see, time is slipping away here. Hi, Joseph. Nice to meet you. I asked this question on Quora and I earned $50. I said, what is the highest paid position in the world? And people just kept merging it out of them. Let me see how many times they merged it into what are the highest paying jobs in the world. Freenomics is not about jobs. It's not about positions. It's, well, they open it in the app. What does it say? I've written an answer, but my answer has been collapsed. See? And it was asked in 11 spaces. And I wrote, what are the highest paying jobs in the world? A post is usually different from a job. A post doesn't pay you in normal money. It pays you in honor, awards, recognition, even glory. Like a post in the army, a post in the military. You get paid pennies, but what you're doing depends on your mission, okay? This question is often confused with high-paying jobs. For some, the highest payment one could give someone is with their life. Well, somebody misinterpreted that to mean, oh, he must be a suicide bomber. Okay, no. Freenomics is not about suicide bombings, okay? It's like, okay, if you devote your life to somebody, you're giving it to them for free. You're not charging them anything for it. A job is not the same as a post or a position in life. The highest paid post is the one assumed by someone who finds it their duty to save the world from itself. And if successful, the survival of humanity would be the reward. Well, look at Elon Musk. He focused his time and energy on creating a post, a position in the world. And he felt it his duty to save the world from itself. There can be no higher paying job. It's not, wait, back up. There can be no higher paying post, not a job or position, than that of savior. Really? I wrote that back in December 31st, 2019. How many saviors do you know that have been paid with the lives of their followers? Wow. So, December there. So how many people gave up their lives on January 6, 2021? Really? To try to save Donald Trump and his election. But now we're getting political. So, and then there's a whole answer here. Everything economics here. Share that. Huh. Anyway. I don't know if you can see this. So maybe that'll come through. No. See, it doesn't do it justice. We have to figure out a different way. Slow-mo discussion. We had this interesting long conversation. So Joseph Baker has this thing called a forgiveness license, public license. How and why does it work? That's on Quora too. So he's very complimentary here. This is on, I don't know when this is. There's no dates. It's the same day, one day a long time ago. Anyway, so back to this. He goes, oh, I said, how do you know Brock Pierce, founder and chairman of the Integro Foundation? He goes, I met Brock Pierce at the Coin Agenda event in Las Vegas. I liked what he had to say. At the bar, I approached him to tell him about what I was doing with the remedy going and the forgiveness money idea. And I said, that's awesome, dude. I didn't say dude, but LinkedIn, you have to be kind of professional, on YouTube. Oh, wait, what's that? My third eye. Oh, my third eye is heating up. Oh, no. Hold on. Please share this with him and we can have a three-way conversation. Well, that never happened, I don't think yet. He says, I'm honored to be connected with you. I like what I'm reading on your profile on LinkedIn. It does seem we have some profound synergies in the interests of finance. I must admit that the last real job, as they call it, was at Plug and Play Tech Center. I've been pretty much unemployable since then in my line of work. So the numerous things listed at forgivenesscapital.com are my pet projects which I pursue with passion. I consider the projects assets of forgiveness capital. Okay. Why not? It makes my profile look good. I feel good about the work I'm doing. It's my purpose in life as far as I can tell at the moment. Trace Mayer has a Juris Doctorate in law and is a CPA. He's an early proponent of Bitcoin. When I explained to him about what I was doing, he related to me that in the U.S., securities that are the result of an arbitration settlement are not regulated. Wow, really? Securities that are a result of an arbitration settlement are not regulated. So, bingo, the Budapest has awakened. He thought what I was doing with forgiveness contract was in perfect alignment with that aim. You might want to have an account ready on bitshares.org if you are interested in advancing the cause of remedy coin. So I go, well, I see. Gotta be quiet. The mice might hear me. I says, why do you consider yourself unemployable? Now see, Freenomics, you're free to employ yourself and others if you want, but we'll get off this already. So I said, you are hired, hashtag you are hired on LinkedIn. And I said, say hashtag save your pennies for snap change. And I asked again, how can all the debts in the world be refinanced at zero interest rates and ultimately all paid off in full. Joseph Baker sends back thanks, and I go, thumbs up. So then he reads all my stuff, whatever. He says, I've never read anything with the level of complete depth of the subject matter as you go into, almost exhausting at times, but the exposure of such lines of thought is quite beneficial to my mind. In response to your question about forgiveness, capitalism, I found myself writing in short sentences. My friend told me to write as if your audience was either a 7-year-old or your grandmother. You know what? You couldn't explain anything higher than $1 million to anybody older than 50 in this country. Anyway, so it helps. I'm making more direct short sentences that can be concretely understood. It means cemented in your brain. No, cemented in your mind. Mind and brain, two different things. I can't wait to see more about the University of Freenomics. Now we're on the subject here. I would love to have your input or a rewrite of the forgivenesspubliclicense.org. It's a work in progress on people participating in a project by divesting themselves of resources in honor of the aims of the supporting community around the project. Okay, so fast forward. I asked all these questions about it on Quora. Nobody heard about it. Nobody understood it. They downloaded it. They deleted my answer. Anyway, so Trace Meyer is a CPA. He asked me, have you signed up on the email list at Remedy Coin? I'd like to make sure that you're on the announcement list. Okay. He is not my lawyer or CPA. I just had a mini conversation at the coffee stand about 4 minutes long. I don't feel represented by members of the Bar Association. Welcome to the club. So I usually try to throw them off my case even if they are a public defender. Why would you need a public defender? Wow. I have friends who are experts in legal procedure. Oh yeah, I know lots of those people. Oh, guess what? The lights went out as soon as I said that. Okay, certainly governments assume jurisdiction every day without providing one shred of evidence to show how their laws and constitutions apply. Just because someone is inside the borders, they consider their dominion. It gets deep. So I bring forward a new kind of law. Monetized forgiveness is the remedy to any dispute. Parties agree by using assets licensed under the forgiveness something PL, FPL. Now see, I have to go back. What does that mean? FPL. Forgiveness something license. ISFPL, forgiveness, public license, a license to forgive. Why do you need a license to forgive someone? One of my best questions on Quora. I think I earned 40 or 50 bucks. By the way, anything I write on Quora goes to the foundation, and the foundation buys pennies for 10 bucks. Random. Don't come knocking on my door looking for money. Because if you do, I'll call the cops and use them as my gun. Okay? Just a warning to anybody who watches this. No soliciting money from my house. Okay? If I go to the store and I bump into you and I go, hey, did you hear about the penny shortage? And by the way, I've been doing this for 50 years now, and nobody got it. Thus, forgiveness is the remedy to any dispute. Parties agree by using assets licensed under the FPL to protect the honor and the value they create from such forgiveness. And importantly, each secures the automatic endorsement of the other party for any forgiveness disputes. Clean, efficient money-making system. How does it make money? It is money. Is forgiveness a currency? There's one for you. And until I have competition and I lose, those holding the remedy coin on bid shares will be the ones making the commission. Bid shares, I didn't even go there. By the way, all these cryptocurrencies out there other than Bitcoin are going to undergo a test case with XRP and Ripple. I know you talk about that in your podcast. I'm kind of making this video directed more to Joe and my conversation. It's part of the, where's my permanent record? I lost my permanent record. Sometimes I wear many hats. This is the hat I wear when I'm driving. And I can't find it. Here it is. Right in front of me. You gotta read this book, Joe. If you haven't read this book, you'll understand why you got banned at YouTube. You got banned permanently from YouTube. Okay. So I said, well, what is BitShares? And you do hashtag BitShares. Go on LinkedIn and you go BitShares, click. There's only 11 followers, so there's no market. You haven't created a market for forgiveness yet. But anyway, it's a blockchain where you can create a coin with various properties such as how many units, how many decimal places. It sounds to me like another coin exchange online. It says for about $35 worth of fees, I can create an asset for the purposes I require. There are some fees along the way that users pay for transactions, so it's just another way of sucking money out of the economy because there's so much money out there. Different forms you just have no idea. Bitcoin is about to hit $1 trillion market cap, but don't tell anybody. That's why we're whispering. So he finally goes, I asked him all these questions, but he goes, I freely admit there could be a hole in my logic of my project. I've traveled around the world to blockchain conferences to find those who enthusiastically support the concept. I have about 100 who I put in that category. About 2,000 in all on my mailing list. Well, okay. Thanks for letting me know that you didn't receive the confirmation. I did see your name on the email, blah, blah, blah. Thumbs up. So then he goes, I've been sending out many emails lately on the list. I got notified of your recent subscription. I watched a ton of your YouTube videos, even the painting the fence one. The fence. I've had way more beers today. We're rooting for the Packers football team from Green Bay, Wisconsin. I'm cheesehead, whatever that means. I'm not a football fan. Sports is not my bailiwick. I wouldn't know how to put together a football team and a coach and a manager. But if you want to sell me the Seahawks Stadium and the Seahawks from Paul Allen's estate, I'll pay you a commission, okay? 1%. Now, so then I go, I'm imagining sending you a fleet of dump trucks full of pennies. Well, I think this guy lives in Chicago, so there pennies in Chicago. There's a Federal Reserve Bank in Chicago, and the logistics is the nearest mint is probably Philadelphia or New York. So the other day I went into U.S. Bank, and U.S. Bank can't spare a box of $25 worth of pennies. Where's my box of pennies? I had to hide them. I bought them one time for $25. I said, "Can I have my change in pennies?" And they looked at me. We'll get to Freenomics. So I sent them this link here. Oops. Snap change, right? Let's see if that comes up. Yeah, that shows up better. Okay. In and out. In and out. Oh, is that interesting? Okay, enough. Should I call you Admiral or General Baker? I'd appreciate your input and how we might be able to work together. I haven't had time to update this collateral piece. When you click on it, if I send it to you, it takes you to a Google slide, and it won't show. I can't see it. Put that out. No, this. See, the beauty of film school is you learn as you go. Okay, so it says snap change, turning pennies. I got it. There you go, turning pennies into Benjis. So that was my sales pitch to him of, hey, maybe we could work together. So enough of that. Snap change is part of a project of the Infinite Freedom Foundations of Earth. Good morning. Here's something outside. When you live in the desert, your sense of hearing goes very acutely. Freenomics is what we're talking about here. So he sends me this remedycoin.com. Remedy Baker. Remedy. I don't see. You can't even see that. Can you? No. I know you can't. I know you can't. Somebody come. Somebody in our yard. I can sense it. Oh, it's just the wind from the north rattling the roof down the hill that needs to be repaired. Woof. See how quiet it is. It says the photo below is a graphic depicting the results of a severe head injury, swelling in a black eye. Whoa. And then he shows this playlist. And he's been banned from YouTube, like Donald Trump. There he is. He's banned. There's no greater honor to a great idea than to be banned. I was banned off of iExchange. Anyway, that's a different story. Okay, so I read his stuff. I signed up. He goes, I want to say thank you and send my heartfelt gratitude to you for your investment of time. For many, these concepts are met with cognitive dissonance at most every point. I'm like, well, the reason for that is they don't understand English. They can't read. They don't get the concept of what you're trying to communicate. And most of them are raised on YouTube Western hemisphere of the planet, half the planet, on books from the people I trained. And we made a lot of money, Anyway, I said, read this first, then share with the hashtags I bark, you bark, we bark, a bark. So it's hashtag IBARC, hashtag EUBARC, we bark, WEBRC, and a bark, ABARC. And there's a document that says $500 trillion judgment. Okay, more on that later. But IBARC stands for the International Bank Activities Reform Commission. UBARC is the European Bank Activities Reform Commission. WeBark is the Western Washington Bank Activities Reform Commission. And ABARC is I have to demo it. ABARC is the American Bank Activities Reform Commission. Okay. So say you have honey. Right? This is the kind of honey I put in my tea. Now in order to get the honey, this jar of honey costs $35. Now the bees did all the running around, flying around, and put the honey in the jar. Well, that was labor. So people don't understand. To get the honey, you have to do something. Well, what do? I'm doing a video. I'm detoxing from coffee. These are products that I need and want to accomplish my mission of overcoming the withdrawals of 10 cups of coffee a day. And have you noticed, I'm pretty amped up and I haven't had any coffee, right? Okay, another one. So each of these boxes of tea cost at least $5. So there's $20 worth of tea and $35 worth of honey. And you put two together and you got what's called an antiviral detox formula off the shelf. Okay. But I'm not a doctor and I'm actually writing a review. That wind is powerful, man. Okay, back to the subject. And those people aren't paying me to promote that. It's free advertising. Freenomics, get it? More later. So I shared with him this lawsuit that has been filed by the International Bank Activities Reform Commission. So here's the parent. It has all the honey. Here's the American Bank Activities Reform Commission. Okay, and then the European. Now the total money in these two countries areas is more than $500 billion. So in Washington, we filed a lawsuit against the Department of Financial Institutions for fraud. Get it? They're frauding people. And we'll get into Freenomics, how you can get sucked into that freedom-loving space by money of banks and lawyers. I wrote a poem a long time ago. And it's called The Penny King. And The Penny King is a story I wrote back in 1993 based on some personal experiences. But it was going to be a big movie, blah, blah, blah. Long story short. Here we go, getting thick here. Finish my coffee. We're going to switch to wine. So far, we got 37 minutes. And we're not even to the point yet, so this is going to take a while. after he read this judgment that was filed by someone who will remain anonymous for now, he says, I'm most interested in the methods you use for creating a judgment that involves the bank. I have this matter with Bakersfield, California. The damages involve them interfering me with buying and promoting Bitcoin back in 2009. So the values are similar in the $500 trillion range and perhaps beyond. Okay, good. He goes, this guy, I've been working on a concept of tagging the city and county and hospital and towing company with dishonor so that anyone who trades with them is acting as a sort of core racketeer. So essentially, the whole US dollar becomes an infection agent. Everyone who uses it to trade becomes guilty of the dishonor of these people. Well, that's probably a pretty revolutionary concept. It might wind you up. No wonder you need a public defender. Okay, the other part of my message now is that in this lifetime we have the opportunity to settle accounts with everyone. All can be atoned for by using forgiveness money. This would create the biggest boost in awareness. See, this guy got my engine rolling. I'm wearing my driver hat here. Maybe I should kick back. Let's get warm. Let's try my mayor. This is my mayor hat. I'm the mayor of the new city of Salt Lake, an entity that I have not incorporated yet. It's a project of the Infinite Freedom Foundation of Salt Lake. If you need money, you have to go out and create it. He says, I have some dishes to wash and then I'll start reading your materials. Thank you in advance. I said, it's someone to collaborate with. We're collaborating. Okay. I said, then I asked this question. If the market cap for Bitcoin is 500 trillion, will the International Bank Activities Reform Commission drop its $500 trillion lawsuit? Here it is, right on Quora. When he read this, he was like, whoa. There it is. I can see it. See. You gotta go to Quora.com and search for it. Okay, the question is, I go, will IBARC drop its lawsuit against every bank licensed by every government on the planet? And then this guy has a link where Michael Saylor of MicroStrategies, whose stock is skyrocketed above $1,000, says that Bitcoin is heading to a $300 trillion market cap. So I'm only $200 trillion off. Anyway, you have to read it. I'm not going to read it here. But back to this Freenomics conversation. He goes, as to whether to call me an admiral or a general and such, perhaps a conductor would be better. Conductor, like da 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 da. In other words, something registered with Joe Baker. And it says a conductor. Oh, a different kind of conductor. See, now there's a word. It speaks to the electrical nature of copper. And this guy is like, whoa, now he's thinking. It speaks to the rhythm and melody of the heart, and it speaks to a voluntary group of people seeking guidance in the music of life so they can all work in beautiful synchrony. Whoa. Whoa. So was pretty good. That's a good joke. That was good. I go, so, okay, conduct this. And I wrote a YouTube video. Airlift Uber. I have a playlist on YouTube called Airlift Uber. So I listened to this one. It said, pause now for commercial interruption.
Within a week, the whole world will be at peace. And every city in the world will be able to cash in their copper coins for $100 each. Because the penny king is walking on water.
Wait, you have to watch it on YouTube. It's called Peace on Earth. Duh. Okay, enough. Is his name really Bill Lone, living on the South Bank? Hilarious. So there's a joke I like to do.
Breathe deep the gathering gloom. Watch the light enter everyone's room as everyone is enlightened to no more doom and gloom. No more criticism. No more condemnation. No more complaining. Just everybody getting on peacefully, happily, joyfully, and free of slavery.
Freenomics. Okay, hold on.
Save your pennies for snap change, the digital currency that businesses can cash in for $100 each. Lincoln pennies, any kind of penny from any place in the universe, as long as it has copper in it, on it, around it.
This is the most productive aeroplane factory in the world. Boeing's rental plant outside Seattle builds the 737 in all its configurations for customers globally.
Excuse me. I said the word shit. Now, where did this thing go? Dang it. Anyway. Oh, yeah. Messages. See, I lost it. But here it is. Boy, already 45 minutes of this video, and I'm not even. So you can find Snap Change on LinkedIn. It's not coming in. Go to LinkedIn. So here's where I got him. I don't know, he never responded. I'm not a director or editor, but a journalist and author and writer. That's me. I shared your answer on this penny ante space, which is Quora, is a penny ante space. It's like, here, you want to play? Put your time in, you get pennies back, more or less. Last week I earned 500 some pennies for the foundations as a volunteer. I'm not doing it for me. I don't need to do anything. Anyway, there are some things I need to do, but not related to money, okay? I said we should find a defunct penny stock company still trading on the pink fake sheets and merge it with your forgiveness coin. Then you can hire others to do your own deep fakes. And I sent him this space I created. Best penny stocks to turn into Bitcoin. If you look at Riot, Marathon, Bit Digital, and MicroStrategy, those four companies are dominating. You gotta do your own homework. Someone gave me an answer to what is forgiveness capitalism. Well, it was Joseph Baker because it's his gig. So then I sent him a article about the circle is complete, which is a different story. So I said, start sending your pennies to P.O. Box 184, Salt Lake, Washington, USA 98851, or save your pennies. So don't spend them, save them or send them. Save them or send them. Got it. So he goes, I sent him this article, the snake biting its tail. Right? He goes, that's the Ouroboros symbol, the snake eating its tail. Then I sent him Gabor's Law. Gabor's Law of Bitcoin. Right? Another article I wrote on LinkedIn. So I'm not gonna, that's Freenomics. That's part of Freenomics. Bitcoin is definitely part of Freenomics. Then I did this video.
Bring your pennies to Main Street. American banker, stay away from me. American banker, mama set me free. Don't want you dollars no more. I'm buying up every penny in the country like a whore. And that's all I can say until I say some more. American banker.
Sometimes you need to get away from the kids for growing.
Get away from your kids forever. God. Okay, back to the story. So then I shared with him this story here. Snap chain on LinkedIn. Right? You can go to LinkedIn and look at it. Go look at it. I can read it to you. So all this over a period of whatever. So here's an excerpt. Now we're getting to the subject of Freenomics. This article was published on LinkedIn, right? Back in February 12th, 2016. Wait, today is February 10th, so it's 2 days from 5 years ago that I first published this. And man, if you read it, you'll go, whoa. So off we go. Back to the story here. So then, now I gotta put on my farmer hat. Right? And I gotta pause here and pour me a glass of wine and come back to this and close the window. So stay tuned for the next show, which is always spontaneous. Nothing is planned. Joseph Baker, story of the carpenter baker and the banker and three-way trades. Okay, so I gotta turn this off. It's cold in here. The wind's blowing. I'll be back. Here we go. A toast to my new friend and confidant, Joseph Baker. This is good wine. This is Washington wine. So, let's say I want a bottle of wine, and I normally would go do some labor for it, and I need to turn the wine, which costs about $20 a bottle at my local store. This same wine made at Canoe Ridge is a 2-year-old wine. It was sold in Chicago or Las Vegas for probably $40, but let's say we sell it for $35. And this here is what I want more of than this. See? Oh, excuse me. Cheers to Joseph Baker. Poor guy got banned from YouTube. Oh well. I'm wondering what will happen. I never know. The last of my tea. So if I want honey, I sell wine. I have more wine than I know what to do with it. I don't drink that much wine. But I drink a lot of honey through my teas while I'm detoxing from coffee. So I'm gonna write a story. I'm not gonna do it right now. The story of the carpenter, the baker, and the banker basically is about a carpenter named Axe. Let's say his last name is Axe in Hungarian. Axe or Ach is a carpenter. And the carpenter name goes back to Jesus. Okay? Let's not get religion and politics mixed with economics, because that's what's wrong with a lot of people's understanding is they don't separate religion from political controls in order to have economics. Honey. So along comes the carpenter and he says, man, I got all kinds of wood. I don't know what to do with it. And he bumps into the baker. He says, well, I don't need wood. What am I going to do with that? We could build a house with it. Well, I already have a house. Okay. Well, you could sell it out the back. Well, I don't sell. I'm a baker, not a wood seller. So along comes the banker, which is where my background is. And he says, hey, Mr. Carpenter and Mr. Baker, how about I create a currency for you? Here's a piece of leather and here's a piece of leather. And I'll go to 10 other businesses and give all them a piece of leather. And if you need to buy something like water, food, wood, bread, whatever, that's it right there. And it doesn't get any simpler than that. Three-way trades. So what Joe Baker did is he sent me this way. He sent me, he's a businessman, right? So he sent me 57 pennies. See? And if you study the snap chain stuff, you too now can become an American banker just by saving your pennies. And we'll have another one of these sometime. But it's getting late, you know, it's already what time here? It is now 23:33:02 military time, February 10th. So my guess is we're 11:33 p.m. Pacific Coast time. And there are some people on YouTube that blow my mind, like William Mountain and Will Wilson, rest his soul. Those guys were doing a lot of stuff together and separately in Seattle. Joe Baker and his company, ForgivenessCapital.com, now has $5,700 on account with the Infinite Freedom Foundation's Penn Bank Corp Snap Change Division. And if you read more at the comments down below in the section that I'll write after I'm done here, in about 1 minute, you'll know what the heck I'm talking about. Alright. So thanks for watching. That's almost a whole hour of my time, which I'm selling for $36,000 an hour. Bam. Not yet. $36,000 an hour is what I'm donating from this video for selling this video. You'll understand that I explain it in the video. Anyway, in the description below. So save your pennies. If you're a business, you get $100. If you're a consumer or a producer, producing